call the special regular meeting of council to order at 7 p.m. City Hall Council Chambers. We have an agenda before us as per the rules of the Municipal Act. This is a special regular meeting of council, so we have a set agenda to present, and service was noticed 48 hours prior to in accordance with the Municipal Act for notification of the special regular meeting. With the agenda before us, there are no changes to the agenda as per special meeting rules. So we'll call for the adoption of the agenda as presented. Mr. Septelli.
Just prior to that, just an indication that Councillor Beyer sends her regrets, and we have Councillor Matichek on the phone.
Thank you. Councillor Claudia.
Yes, I believe that a bylaw of this magnitude, we should have three meetings for the three readings. I know the Municipal Act allows for 2 readings at 1 meeting, and that's great when we have a housekeeping matter or something that's not as important as this, but I believe that with the magnitude of this bylaw that we should have the 2nd reading tonight and the 3rd reading on Monday evening at our next council meeting.
Okay. So council, we have an agenda before us. How do you wish to deal with Councillor Claudia's request? Councillor Wong? Anybody else? Councillor Ellis?
I'd like to deal with both readings tonight.
Councillor or Deputy Mayor Valentino?
Just because the length of this process that we've been following to get to this, it's been almost a full 19, 20 months that we need to get the tenders out as quick as we can to be ahead of the game of other municipalities in the province that are going to be bidding on their own wastewater treatment plant. So I think that due to the amount of time that we've put into this, that I would like us to do both readings tonight so we can move forward.
Thank you. Any other councillors? Hearing none, we'll move ahead with the agenda. Mr. Septelli.
Just to indicate, I mean, obviously, if there's the comments that are made, is there a motion that's put forth to defer 3rd reading? Because if there is, I mean, being a regular meeting of council, we should likely have an amendment to the agenda and vote on the amended agenda if that's the desire of council.
I think just from a process perspective, can we deal with that at the when 3rd reading comes forth? We've got 2nd and 3rd reading. We should proceed with the delivery of information. We should proceed with the 2nd reading. Then at the time of the call for the 3rd reading, I think we can have the discussion from council to decide whether or not you're going to proceed with the 3rd reading. Mr. Septelli, is that within the
If we address it that way, then there would need to be a motion to table 3rd reading at that point in order to defer that that resolution.
Council, you're okay with that? Okay. So moving ahead with the agenda, we have the bylaw, first reading of bylaw 1948-2016 local improvement plan for the wastewater treatment plant. We have the bylaw attached. We have Schedule A and Schedule B. We have the resolution. I'll read the resolution and then go to the supporting information. Resolution 2017-029, moved by Councillor Foley, second by Councillor Smook. Be resolved the bylaw 1948-2016 being a bylaw of the City of Thompson to authorize the expenditure and borrowing of the money for the design and build of a new wastewater treatment plant facility in the City of Thompson as a local improvement be given 2nd reading. We'll go to administration for support. Mr. Septelli.
Sure. Just to indicate this, that part of council's package, there's a memo which really just identifies the process as to what's been followed by the local improvement, and really the currently the rates that are been identified is a rate of 81 cents a foot for frontage for the period of 2019 to 2043, which is the length of the local improvement plan, with the ability to prepay at $10.39 per foot of frontage. This only relates to the 25% of the debenture payment that is based on frontage, and a rate rider of 58 cents per cubic meter of consumption for the period of 2019 to 2043. So really the rate rider for consumption cannot be paid on a one-time charge. It has to be paid annually over that 25-year period. So really, just to summarize, the The intent of the local improvement plan that has been put forth by council and subsequently approved by the municipal board is that the payments are based on 25% on frontage and 75% on the rate rider for consumption. Just to indicate and to sort of reiterate the process that's been undertaken for the establishment of this local improvement plan was that a letter was sent to all property owners affected by the local improvement plan with 21 days prior to the public hearing, which was held on November the 30th at St. Joseph's Hall. At the public hearing on November the 30th, there were 13 taxpayers were registered with an objection to the proposal. Out of those 13, 12 were verbal and one was a written objection. Subsequent to that public hearing, a letter was sent out on December the 12th to the 13 registered objectors, notifying that council intended to give third reading to the bylaw and they could object further to the municipal board within 30 days of the date of that notice. So the individuals that showed up at the public hearing on November 30th and ones that objected would have received a further letter identifying that they had an opportunity to object further to the municipal board within that 30-day period from December the 12th to January the 12th. So part of that process was done. The municipal board went through that month period. From there, have subsequently approved the city's borrowing bylaw, which we received a written notification from them on Friday, January the 20th. Subsequently, a special regular meeting of council was called in accordance with the organizational and procedural bylaw. Just further to the whole local improvement plan, the city did get approval from the Public Utility Board, and really sort of from our ability to recover 75% of that debenture through servicing costs for the wastewater treatment plant through that utility rate rider in principle. And we received the Public Utility Board order number 148/16, which really sort of gives us that approval in principle to cover that 75% through a rate rider through the utility rates. So really as part of the process, the municipal board received 6 objections to the bylaw and have decided not to hold a public hearing. They've approved our bylaw through board order E17-005 with a few very minor changes, and one really was on Schedule B as to delete the reference to bylaw 1938-2016 and replace with bylaw number 1948-2016, basically a typographical error. And then on Schedule C to the bylaw, the following was amended, is that insert the title City of Thompson Schedule C to bylaw 1948-2016, and after the finance charge per year for 25 years, insert 81 cents per foot. So really the current proposal covers the years 2019 to 2043, and with the approval of the municipal board, council has the opportunity to consider both second and third reading at tonight's meeting.
We'll go to the mover, Councillor Foley. Anything to add?
Just that I'll be supporting this.
Questions or comments? Councillor Wong?
I have a question and a comment as well. The question is direct to Councillor Ellis, Councillor Foley, and Councillor Smook. Do you all receive a water bill quarterly?
I
You don't? Councillor Ellis? Mr. Foley?
Sure I do.
Okay.
As a citizen here and a homeowner, yeah,
Well,
I pay my water bill like everybody else would.
yeah, that's my question. Okay, thank you. In my opinion, the person do not receive a water bill, that means they have no obligation to pay. In my opinion, with a little bit of integrity, they should abstain this resolution because they don't pay bill. The water bill doesn't impact to the financial bottom line. and I will not support this resolution due to the reason I compare the Thompson Auto Car Wash and the bricks. The frontage, who use more water, but end up the bricks have to pay more for the frontage compared to the Thompson Car Wash. That's my logic about I'm not supporting. It's not fair when the calculation about frontage. And there'll be it. And ask for recorded vote, please.
Thank you. Just before I go to Councillor Foley, just caution in regards to questioning integrity of councillors. Councillors and the mayor are elected, duly elected to uphold the Municipal Act in the best way possible. Integrity is not to be questioned from that perspective. Whether people rent or whether people own their own homes is inconsequential to this discussion, as opposed to as the same as when this city and the council determines the budget, which determines the property income or property tax. We don't disseminate on council whether you rent or own when we're deciding the rates for property tax. So caution in regards to integrity based on renting or owning your own business. Councillor Foley.
Yeah, just we've done our research on this, and we've looked at many different variations of how we're going to collect the 25%, and keeping in mind that 75% is still going to be based on consumption. So that 75%, whether you're the brick or whether you're the Thompson Car Wash, is going to be very much different. And as far as the 25%, we've looked at a couple of options, and one of the options that's been thrown by a member or two of council is by per parcel. Now that's when you look at something that's completely unfair. When you're looking at a per parcel, you're looking at comparing the 25% that the Thompson Auto Wash, for example, would be paying the same 25% as 219 Deerwood Drive, where I live, which in that term would be grossly unfair to anybody, and the vast majority of the people paying this are going to be residential owners. That being said, as far as the comment in regards to a councillor not being able to, or should be abstaining on this, I don't own a business, yet I deal with decisions on business tax and other things of that matter. Doesn't mean that I'm less in a position that I should be doing it or that I shouldn't be doing it. We're looking at the best interest for the city as a whole. Sometimes there will be a member or two of the city that, you know, it might not be that favorable, but we're looking at the city as a whole. All of Thompson, Manitoba, not just part of Thompson, Manitoba.
Councillors, any comments? Councillor Smook.
Yeah, I don't use the city water, but I definitely pay city taxes. I pay approximately $12,000 a year in taxes. I don't have a paved road. I don't have grass for you to cut. I don't have garbage pickup and that, but I do not complain because that is a good for the city. So I think this is a very small portion of what I don't pay for in the city that everybody else gets part of. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Ellis.
On this bylaw, I am a renter in the city, but and I don't pay a water bill directly, but I pay my water bill through my rent, right? And when the water utility was introduced, my rent went up accordingly, right? So, and there are many renters in this city, and they're all impacted.
Deputy Mayor Valentino.
I'll definitely be supporting this tonight. I feel that all of us as councillors have gone through the process, and it's been a long one, and we have had lots of information, and we've had lots of the opportunity to speak against this and ask questions when it was time to ask questions. This is the council meeting to vote on this. It is by no means is a place where any of us should have to be defending ourselves onto whether or not we pay a water bill. Let's stick to what the fact is tonight to vote on this bylaw.
Telly.
Yeah, just prior to the mayor calling the question, just a typographical note on the actual title of the resolution. It has first reading in errors and actually should say second reading. The body of the resolution is correct.
Any other Councillor Collado?
Yes, considering the length of this process, I believe Deputy Mayor Valentino is probably correct, 19 or 20 months. At this point in time, I think we've deliberated. We have to respect democracy. This is the decision of the majority, so I feel I have to support it. In keeping with the length of the term, I don't think 1 week for the third reading would be excessive after we've spent nearly 2 years determining this, but I will support it.
If council would allow, I'd like to also comment in regards to the process.
Speak on this as well.
Sure, go ahead, Councillor Matichuk.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say I do agree with Councillor Collada on the second and third reading should be held separately. But I also want to say I'm very disappointed in the municipal board's decision to not hold a hearing in Thompson, as I see very little difference between this proposal and the original proposal that was rejected by the municipal board, other than a bunch of smoke and mirrors. I hope there is an appeal process, as I see this as a disservice to the citizens of Thompson. I will be voting against this resolution.
Thank you. Again, if council would allow me to speak on from my position. One, I want to commend all those involved, administration and council, and other agencies that assisted us throughout the process. It has been a long process, 19 months, in getting this significant project moving forward. It is probably the most significant project that we have seen in a number of years in regards to the value and the long-term sustainability of our community. Having the process and facility to replace an aging facility as mandated by the province of Manitoba. Having said that, I want to again emphasize to the ratepayers of Thompson that through that 19-month process, there has been ample opportunity in the first go-round to discuss the formulas and the process, at which time the municipal board at their level rejected our application and asked us to reconsider the formulas and the process. I will differ from Councillor Matichuk's comment in that this is no different than the first go-round. I would say it's significantly different than the first go-round, and take offense to the smoke and mirrors comment. This has been open and transparent from day one. There have been plenty of opportunities for residents to voice their concerns, as Mr. Sepitelli has outlined, as through the Act and the rules that apply to this process. 21 days notice was provided to every ratepayer in our community prior to the second go-round of hearings that were held by the City of Thompson. And then as per the Act and the rules from the Municipal Board, those that voiced objections at our hearing were notified of the process to further object at the municipal hearing. That would decide whether a municipal hearing was held or not. The Municipal Board, it's an independent body, well experienced in this process. They deal with it across Manitoba. And based on the information provided to them, based on the first go-round, it was their decision that not to hold a hearing. It's not the City of Thompson's decision, it's the Municipal Board's decision. So given that, we are now here faced with the process of giving second and third reading to move the project forward so that it will allow us and our partners to move ahead with the tender process to ensure that construction can happen and begin this year to ensure completion of the wastewater treatment plant by approximately the end of 2018. We've already lost one building season, which will incur additional inflation costs year over year. We've also are now in competition with other projects that weren't around last year, which may impact the cost of our project. So with that being said, I think the process was followed from council's perspective. It was heavily debated and positions were defended. That's the right of democracy. That's the right of councillors. We now have a decision of council as a whole to move forward. And at this point, I will call in a recorded vote, the vote to support second reading of this resolution. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Voting in favor, Councillor Foley, Councillor Smook, Deputy Mayor Valentino, Councillor Collada, Councillor Ellis, Mayor Fensky. Voting opposed, Councillor Wong, Councillor Matichuk. It's carried. Next, we have the third reading of bylaw 1948, 2016. I will read the bylaw and then entertain Councillor Collada's issue. Resolution 2017030, moved by Councillor Ellis, seconded by Deputy Mayor Valentino. Be it resolved that the bylaw of 1948-2016 be given third and final reading, and that it do now pass. I will go to Councillor Collada.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to make a motion to table the third reading for 7 days until our regular meeting on Monday, January 30th. And I'd also like a recorded vote on this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. As per the rules of the Act, we have a motion to table. It's non-debatable. We need a seconder. Councillor Wong has seconded that. Again, non-debatable in a recorded vote. All those in favor of tabling this resolution, please signify.
Aye.
Thank you. All those opposed? It's defeated. Voting against is Councillor Foley, Councillor Smook, Deputy Mayor Valentino, Councillor Ellis, and Mayor Fensky. Voting in favor to table, Councillor Wong, Councillor Collada, Councillor Matichuk. It's defeated. So moving forward to the third reading, again, we'll read the resolution before us. As per the Municipal Act, third reading requires a recorded vote. Resolution 2017030, moved by Councillor Ellis, second by Councillor Valentino. Be resolved that bylaw 1948-2016 be given third and final reading and do now pass. We'll go to administration for support.
Nothing further than the description that was provided prior to second reading.
Thank you. We'll go to the mover, Councillor Ellis. Anything to add?
And infrastructure that we need to be built. It's $36.5 million, and it's important that we get the tender out as soon as possible. So I'll be voting in favor.
Thank you. Council, any questions or comments? Seeing none, in a recorded vote, we'll call a question. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Voting in favor, Councillor Foley, Councillor Smook, Deputy Mayor Valentino, Councillor Ellis, Mayor Fensky. Voting opposed, Councillor Wong, Councillor Collada, and Councillor Matichuk. It's given third reading and do now pass. That is the agenda. We have a motion to adjourn. Deputy Mayor Valentino, Councillor Smook, all those in favor? We stand adjourned. Thank you.